What if one of the greatest scientific discoveries of our time, a concept that reshaped our entire understanding of the cosmos, was already described in a book revealed over 1400 years ago? The Big Bang Theory, a cornerstone of modern cosmology that science only came to accept in the last century, suggests the universe had a definitive beginning. It proposes that everything we see, everything we know, originated from a single, infinitesimally small and dense point. But what is truly fascinating is that this revolutionary idea might have been waiting for us to discover it, elegantly summarized in a single verse of the Qur'an. This isn't about pitting faith against science. Instead, it's an invitation to explore an intersection, a potential bridge between ancient revelation and modern discovery. A conversation that, once you hear it, is difficult to ignore. Stay with me as we journey back in time and out to the furthest reaches of space to explore this profound connection. So what exactly is the Big Bang Theory? Let's break it down simply. Forget complex equations for a moment and just imagine this. Everything in the entire universe, every star, every galaxy, every planet, even space and time itself, was once compressed into a single unified point of immense energy and density. A singularity, then in a fraction of a second, it began to expand. Not like an explosion in space, but as the expansion of space itself. This rapid inflation marked the birth of our universe. From that initial moment of expansion, the universe began to cool, allowing energy to transform into matter, eventually forming the protons, neutrons, and electrons that make up everything around us. Over billions of years, gravity pulled this matter together to form stars, galaxies, and the intricate cosmic web we observe today. This is the prevailing scientific model for how the universe began. It's not just a guess. It's supported by overwhelming evidence, like the cosmic microwave background radiation, a faint echo of that initial event and the observed expansion of the universe. This is mainstream, modern science, telling us our universe had a beginning. Now, let's turn our attention to the Qur'an, a text revealed in the 7th century, long before the invention of powerful telescopes or the development of modern physics. In a chapter named Al-Anbiya, or the Prophets, there is a verse that has captured the attention of scholars and scientists alike. It addresses those who might doubt the signs of creation. The verse says, "Have those who disbelieved not considered that the heavens and the earth were a joined entity and we separated them?" Let's pause and really consider those words. The heavens and the earth were a joined entity. The Arabic word used here is rakim, which implies a single, sewn together, impenetrable mass, a unified whole. Then, the verse continues, "and we separated them." The word for this separation is fatahna, meaning we clove them asunder, split them apart, or initiated a separation. A joined entity, then a separation. This description of a unified origin followed by a splitting apart resonates powerfully with the fundamental concept of the Big Bang, a singularity that expanded to form the cosmos. The parallel is striking, especially when you consider when and where this was revealed. To truly grasp why this verse is so remarkable, we need to understand the historical context. At the time the Quran was revealed in 7th century Arabia, what did humanity believe about the universe? The dominant ideas, inherited from ancient Greek philosophers and other civilizations, were mostly centered on a static, eternal universe. The concept of a universe that had a specific beginning in time was not a mainstream scientific or philosophical idea. Most models depicted the heavens as a fixed canopy or a series of solid spheres, completely separate from the earth, and believed they had always existed that way. There were no telescopes to peer into deep space, no particle accelerators to study the building blocks of matter, no scientific framework for cosmology. People relied on what they could see with the naked eye. Yet, right in the middle of this era, the Quran presents a description that stands in stark contrast to the prevailing myths and philosophies of the time. It speaks of a unified origin for the heavens and the earth, followed by a separation. This wasn't a common idea. It wasn't derived from the science of the day because the science to even conceive of this didn't exist. This raises a profound question. Where did this knowledge come from? The connection doesn't stop there. The Big Bang model doesn't just describe a beginning. It also describes what the universe has been doing ever since, expanding. And this is another area where modern science and a Quranic verse seem to converge in a fascinating way. In the 1920s, astronomer Edwin Hubble made a groundbreaking discovery. By observing distant galaxies, he noticed they were all moving away from us, and the farther away they were, the faster they were moving. This was the first concrete evidence that the universe is not static, it is actively expanding. This discovery revolutionized cosmology and became a key pillar of support for the Big Bang Theory. Now, let's look at another verse from the Qur'an, from a chapter named Ad-Dariyat. It says, "And the heaven we built with strength, and indeed, we are its expanders." The Arabic word used here, muziyun, is an active participle, suggesting an ongoing continuous process of expansion. Not that the universe was expanded and finished, but that we are expanding it. The idea that the very fabric of the cosmos is stretching out was only confirmed by science less than 100 years ago. Yet, here it is mentioned in a 1400-year-old text. So, what are we to make of this? Is this all just a remarkable coincidence? Could it be that these are vague verses that we are now retrofitting to match modern science? It's a fair question. Skeptics might argue that the language is open to interpretation. And they're right, and in texts can be interpreted in various ways. However, the Qur'an itself doesn't present these verses as scientific theories. It doesn't give formulas or detailed explanations of cosmic inflation or nucleosynthesis. That's not its purpose. Instead, the Qur'an presents these as signs, or ayat, in Arabic. It uses these descriptions of the natural world to invite people to think, to reflect, and to ponder the nature of their existence and the power of the Creator. It consistently asks its reader, "Will you not then believe? Will you not then reflect?" The point isn't to prove a scientific theory, but to use the observable universe as a trigger for deeper contemplation. Whether you see it as coincidence or as knowledge beyond human reach at the time, the alignment itself is a powerful catalyst for thought. It's crucial to clarify what the Qur'an is and what it is not. The Qur'an is not a science textbook. Its purpose is not to teach physics, biology, or astronomy. To treat it as such would be a mistake. It is a book of guidance, a spiritual and moral compass for humanity. It doesn't replace the need for scientific inquiry, research, experimentation, or the rigorous process of the scientific method. In fact, Islam has a rich history of encouraging scientific pursuit. The message here is not to abandon science and only read scripture. Rather, the point of interest is when the findings of modern science, reached through centuries of observation and experimentation, seem to align so closely with verses revealed long before that knowledge was humanly accessible. When these moments of harmony occur, they don't negate science. They enrich our perspective and raise an important question about the source of the information in the Qur'an. It's a signpost, not a destination. So why does any of this matter? In a world that often pits faith and reason against each other, these verses suggest they can be complementary paths to understanding. The Qur'an repeatedly encourages humanity to observe the universe, to study the stars, the mountains, the cycle of rain, the development of an embryo. It doesn't ask for blind belief. It asks for an informed faith, one that is nurtured by looking at the world with open eyes and an inquisitive mind. The alignment with the Big Bang Theory and the expansion of the universe serves as a powerful contemporary example of this principle. It shows that as our scientific knowledge grows, so can our appreciation for the depth of this ancient text. It tells us that faith is not about shutting down our intellect. It's about engaging it. It is about looking at the majesty of a spiral galaxy or the elegant laws of physics and asking the big questions. How did this come to be? Is there a purpose behind it all? The Qur'an encouraged this exact line of inquiry, fostering a mindset where faith and reason can coexist and enrich one another. The discovery of the Big Bang didn't end our search for meaning. In many ways, it began a deeper one. It replaced the idea of a timeless, static cosmos with a dynamic universe that had a beginning, a history, and a story to tell. It opened up new frontiers for science and philosophy, prompting us to ask even more profound questions about our origins and our place in the vastness of it all. And through it all, the Qur'an continues to stand as it has for over 14 centuries, not as a book of science, but as a book of signs. It invites every generation, with its own unique level of knowledge and understanding, to do the same thing, to look up at the heavens, to study the world around us, and to reflect on what it all means. The conversation between our understanding of the cosmos and these ancient words is far from over. If this video made you think, please share it with others who might find it interesting. I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments, so please share them respectfully. Thanks for watching.